Ripped in half, so only part remains. Yeah, I have no idea what that says. Whoa, whoa, hold up. Oh, is this the drawing that she made? I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I'd better not forget about this picture. I'm sure that's important. That looks like the picture she drew. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. Uh-oh. A 7-digit number. I think I might just know what it is. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date. It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. There's probably a date I need to grab from, like, from one of the documents or something. Nope. I guess that wasn't it. I was so sure that was the number. Maybe we should check the court record again. A 7-digit number. Okay. Oh, it's the 7-digit number, the sevens. That's what that would be, probably. Sitting here like, what would be the 7 digits? Oh, right. The really long 7-digit number with the sevens. Oh, I have a better idea. Now, I have to say, having your code be all sevens isn't exactly what I would call safe. But I guess that's why it's called a safe. Bingo! What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 7777777? That ID number? I think you're 1 7 shy this time. Oh, dang it. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Yeah, maybe we should. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Why would you not destroy this rather than holding on to it at the scene of the crime? This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. Do you think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. But unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. Now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's gotta be something we can show the detective. We will, but I want to finish investigating the room. The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th. When a detective screws up, the chief calls him into his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except the ringing in his ears. So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. Anything in the middle? No, not really. I do have to say, you know, a large office, sure, that makes sense for a chief investigator, chief of police kind of guy, but an organ? That seems a little expensive. But, you know, what do I know? I'm not a chief investigator guy. The shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred over to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Okay. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that. The shelves, okay. That's the same. This was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her? Or in memory of the crime? Anything up here, maybe? No, not really. Let's check the picture real quick. Again, just in case there's anything new. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, and went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Okay. Can we examine the floor, maybe? It does have a big, like, sun on it. This mark looks like some kind of flower. Word is it's designed after the insignia on the prosecutor's badge. Prosecutor's badge? Yeah, like the one hanging from your collar. What? They have badges too? The design's supposed to portray the severity of the punishment system. Now that you mention it, it does look all pointy and kind of painful. But Mr. Edgeworth never wears a badge. That's because he's a sharp dresser. A badge like that wouldn't go too well with his outfit. So sharp dressers don't need to wear badges? I guess everyone just kinda lets it slide. I don't see how that's supposed to signify severe punishment. Okay. So, anything to talk about first? Two things to talk about, then we can present him with, I guess with the vase. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. on that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk. No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Maybe. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? It's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be. No. Oh, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think... Nah. Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? Yeah, Mr. Wright, what do we think of him? Chief Gant? So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. There he goes, ignoring me again. Okay, so let's present him with the vase. See where that gets us. Wait, did I skip the vase? Yeah, I did. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? All of us put that back together. Oh, those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know that fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. If I can piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. I still don't understand why you would do this. This just seems, like we're saying, entirely incriminating. For no helpful reason. There. It fits like a charm. That of course means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Is it a handprint, maybe? I'll have to look at that again. Looks like we're still missing a handle. But we do have some lines? I don't know exactly what this is. Other than random blood spatter and a few, maybe fingerprints or something. Hey, look here. It's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the chief has is different, though. The blood stains on the other pieces are just spots. But this one's a line. That is odd. Maybe someone picked it up while the other ones just had splatter on them? Okay. We've got to show him something else. Which I'm just going to take a quick look at. Okay. So, the last thing we need to do is, about that cloth, we got to do the fingerprinting set, which I guess that makes sense. I can understand that. No, not check. Want to present... Oh. Present. Fingerprinting set. There we go. Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, Detective. Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking your hand out like that? Go ahead. Take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, heh. I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Yeah, I guess we'll just start with this one. Get it powdered up real good. And blow. Not a very good thumbprint. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger. And again. That's not a bad one. Oh, I think we need more powder maybe. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, it's a little smudgy. Okay, maybe not. You can see some of it. Oh, yeah, that's a good one right there. That's what we've got. Can I just talk into it really loud? No, you can't. Well, you can a little bit sometimes. Let's compare it to Damon Gant, because that would be suspicious. Nah, it's probably the brother. No match. Looks like we're out of clues this time. But it was inside the chief's safe. Right, along with that shard. I think maybe we're supposed to fail that. Like, maybe we don't have the fingerprint of who it belongs to. So that means it's got to have something to do with that incident. The one that happened here in this room. She's right. We should check the fingerprints of everyone who was here that day. The way I see it, there's a higher power at work here. You just gotta have faith. Oh no, okay, so we keep checking. Is it Bruce Goodman? No. Maybe we could check Jake? That would be ironic. If that didn't work. Is it Gumshoe? Who else could it be? Maybe Lana. Oh, I see you can preview their fingerprints. I didn't know that. Oh, that's Emma's fingerprint. Oh, that's an interesting match. I guess it was you all along. You are the Joe Dark. Maybe. Actually, you might not be. No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? It seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Hastily stuffed into pocket. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Eek! Chief Gant! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Crop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait. You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright. So I think our friend just got kidnapped. Possibly. Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew I'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. It's hard to believe anyone could keep quiet about it all this time. Anyway, you listening to me. I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police want to ask her some questions. So she'd be busy for the rest of the day. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really, I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I've finally figured it out. Who it is you're hiding behind those words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth, once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. keeping quiet. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly frightened of? What is this person's name? I mean, it seems like it's Damon Gant. And they don't give me good options for doing the wrong ones. Well, Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, you're addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about the circumstances? Damon Gant. We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he's respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly investigated that evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. Probably this. I just found this in the safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this strip of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Orders. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk was broken. I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That would be Edgeworth's knife. That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand. Yes, it seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So, you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister. To tell her what had happened, and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident. About Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling. The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or, at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seemed that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean... Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Officer Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Tomorrow's trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. To be continued. Alright, so to my understanding, looking over this guide, this is the last investigation section. We're going to have Day 4 Trial Former, Day 4 Trial Ladder, and Day 4 Trial Ladder 2 next time. That sounds like a bit of a time, to be honest, like a lot. But I want to see if I can get it all done in one section, so we'll see. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for possibly the last of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Bye!